Hello guys, hello everyone. I'm going to give you basically my thoughts on the spoiler area of Jurassic World. And I think I did already address this in the first review, but the way they built out the look of the Indominus Rex, I really liked it. Like, the way it was shown in the advertisements and certain commercializations of toys and all this other stuff, is that I think those did not do it justice, or like they just did not look well on there, but it looked much better on screen. Is like no matter how well they try to show it or produce it on television, is like it cannot capture what it looked like or what it felt like to see that first time in the theater. It was incredible. It was like seeing Godzilla for the first time in last year's Godzilla. It really felt like huge. It really felt anthemic. It was like enormous. It built up so well for the build up of the big reveal of the monster, and I thought it looked great. Granted, I was like, why white? But they do address it. Actually, does do camouflage, and like how snakes can do is that they see in infrared. They see kind of heat signatures. So it knows how to hide its own heat signature, and they do explain. It's like, wait, we can't tell. There's a scene in the movie where they're just like, they see the scratch marks on the side of the place that they keep it in, and they're just like, wait, the scratch marks, they escaped, and they're like, it's not in there. There's no infrared scan of its heat signature in there. Like what it does with certain reptiles is that it kind of can control its own heat regulation within its own self. And I'm just like, that's smart. I like how they really brought that in well. And the build-up and the big reveal empowerment of this monster, first seen it, was incredible. I loved it, and I thought they explained certain things to that dinosaur very, very well. And of course, like the whole training with Chris Pratt and the Raptors. You know, like the Raptor Whisperer, property owned by Jack Newton, the Raptor Whisperer. So by me. I thought they handled that very, very well. Like, the way they conveyed that he and the Raptors had a certain mutual relationship, they not only did they explain that well, but how they brought it up within the certain idea that, you know, like, they're outer elements, they're not in the world that you used to be in, the fact they would grow up with this person, they're viewed as Chris Pratt as a brother in a way. I thought they really built it up very, very smartly, and I really believed it. So for me, I thought they handled that very, very well. And the big finale was just awesome. And I will talk about I will not talk about the finale yet, but I will talk about like the most significant death. Like there's two main people, no, three. First one was the owner of the park, this Indian man, who essentially is like, no, I don't think you control this place, alright? And the fact that they kind of put him out as like this very, he wasn't like a real stiff up type of person like Bryce Dallas Howard was, but he was kind of reckless, and like the way he like you see him in the helicopter, and he is kind of like, there's a sense he's kind of like the driver. He's so confident that he can't screw it up, but he kind of does. But I like that. He was really fun. I believed him. I actually did kind of give some great weight to how great of a feel type of character he was. Seeing him in the movie, I'm like, awesome, good for him. But you see in the trailer, like that helicopter smashes into like the big dome containing the pterodactyls. At that part, I'm like, god damn, like, jeez, like, and I love how they kind of played respect for him. Like, it's like, you know what? It's like, don't worry, he did not die in vain. His death wasn't terrible. It's like it wasn't in pain or anything like that. It's like, you know what? We're taking this death and we're gonna try to make it better for him, even though it's a kind of a backstab to him. And another death is to the character. Like, Bryce Dallas Howard has as an assistant, because Bryce Dallas Howard is caught up in her own work. She's like, okay, she has an assistant. She's like, take care of my little nephews, okay? She's like, alright. She's British. And, like, she gets missing. No, the kids get missing. They go away. They try to run from her. and she's like, nobody, she's always talking to her, calling back to her like that, and eventually that part when the pterodactyls attack, like she finally sees them. She's like, oh, finally, I got you, and there's like, when the pterodactyl takes her, drops her down a bit, a couple of times on the ground. They take her and they kind of like dunk her in a weird way in like the water area. As soon as like that happened, I'm like, oh, I know what they're gonna do. I know what they're gonna do. I'm just like, and they come build up. It's like splash down, splash down, splash down. The pterodactyls practically dunk the woman who was for the girl, for the kids. And the kids are all, while this is all happening, the kids are witnessing it. And they see the person practically dunking the woman, and all of a sudden the Mesosaurus, the water creature that eats intruders, actually just comes up and just, and I swear, I turned to my friend Trevor while seeing this, and we were both like, like that was one of the biggest, that was like a mic drop of the movie. It's like, we know we're awesome, okay? Just, oh, that scene was fantastic. Anything with that Mesosaurus was awesome. I loved it. And then of course they had to build up like that. There's like another death that happens. That is probably the last final death, or like the meaningful, aside from the soldiers that they send in to take down the Indominus Rex. Like aside from the soldiers, because there's much more of a body count than the other three films combined together. Is that the final death happens to? Oh my god! I cannot believe I forgot about this in my main review. In my main review is that Vincent D'Onofrio admittedly playing a very cartoonish version of himself, which I don't mind. He was great in the movie. I will say he was very, very funny, very much cartoony-ish, which I do not mind. Is that like the way he kind of built him up? Is like the sense of character that he had. He's very much like the military type of guy. He's like, no, we can use these as weapons. Replace the soldiers in the battlefield for him. It's like, there's a sense that I loved how ridiculous he was. I'm like, yeah, even so, if you replace soldiers with these raptors, wouldn't they eventually turn on you then? I'm just like, what a dumbass idea, but I had a lot of fun just following his ideas, and at times I'm kind of like, yeah, go him. I understand why. Like, granted, it's cliche as hell, but I can at least have fun with it. Eh? Of how ridiculous they played it up for him as being this type of villainous, cartoonish type of character for his own self. And yeah, I really love that. I thought it was done exceptionally well. No, I wouldn't say exceptionally well because it is very cliche, but I will say I just had a ball with that. And his death, well, I need to talk about his death, is like they meet him eventually in a museum area, and he's like, aha, I got you guys now. They're like, he's like, what's going with the Indominus Rex? What's going with that? And he's like, alright, I'll talk to you about that. Here. And there's like a raptor gone in, and it's just like, oh crap. And then a raptor attacks him. I'm just like, oh, I love that. It's kind of like great karma there. It's like, you created these monsters, and they will eventually turn on. And like, that was going on my mind. I'm like, if you put them in the soldiers, if you replace the soldiers in the field with the raptors, these raptors will be very hard to obtain and control. And eventually, it bit him in the ass, and I thought that was great justice for his character. Like, he's a terrible character, he's a terrible person in the movie. His death was truly well deserved. What the hell was that in here? Oh well. Whatever. Oh man, I just loved it so much. And, okay, I love his death a lot. I love the other two deaths, that they were fun. Like, people will say, this movie's not original, it's borrowing off to other movies. I'm like, really, you can only go so far with the structure of these dinosaur films, and we've seen a lot, okay? So I will say the structure, while seeing very does seem kind of reminiscent of the others. I will say it's fun to at least get something enjoyable. As much as it's been done before, I will at least take that over something stupid or some bad execution, which there is none really. But I'm like, as far as as bad as the low point in this movie can be, I will ultimately say it could have been a lot worse. And another thing I want to say is that the way these characters bounced off each other with the dialogue, I thought was great. I absolutely believed it. Like, the kids seemed really believable. The relationship between Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, not many people liked it or believed it, but I loved it. I thought they had great writing and great dialogue between each other. And I feel like that the director, Colin Trevorrow, really knows how to do that, especially in the film like Safety Not Guaranteed, because he really knew how to make these characters feel very intimate and very much social, and knew how to very much make them feel like they know each other, like they had a past, they knew each other before they there's a sense that they may have been dating, and I like that. That was a great sense of it. And that leads probably into my last part of this movie, and that is the ending, which I wanted to talk about so much in my original video, is that the way it ends with both the characters and the send-off of the dinosaurs, it's exceptional. In the last 45 minutes, the last 30 minutes, I will say, not even the other three films can top that. That was incredible. I love the absolute finale of this movie. The big fight between the Indominus Rex and the T-Rex and the one raptor. I'm like, that was so awesome. It's like Bryce Dallas Howard gets the T-Rex. She's like, alright, come with me. Granted, there's no training between them, so it's like T-Rex is going like, I want to get you and eat you. She's like, I'm taking you with me to fight the Indominus Rex. And I'm like, awesome. And seeing those two fight, I'm like, what a spectacular fight it was. It was incredible. It was shot well. The editing, the effects, everything really came together well, and I thought that was a very appropriate ending fight. It's like before they put it to, like before the raptor got intervened with the fight, it's like the T-Rex was really getting the shit beat out of him. Like, is really getting his ass kicked, and then the raptor comes in and is like, aha, T-Rex, I will save you. And there's a great sense of like how these raptors kind of had a weird, frail type of relationship with the T-Rex. Like, it was very smallly hinted on, but it's like, see there, it kind of separates. I'm like, great, I love that. And like the T-Rex kind of kicks away, or kind of like boots away the Indominus Rex at one point, and he's like smashes into like the side rail part of the water tank area. I'm just like, well, I didn't really think that, but I'm just like, whoa. Then it's just like, the Indominus Rex kind of gets up like, and then it's like, you see the Mesosaurus once again, it's just like, grabs onto it, it's like, brings it into the water again. I'm just like, holy crap. That was exceptional. And that was like a literal, like, I truly did not expect that. At all. Oh. I just loved that finale, and it was incredibly appropriate in the way they kind of did tie up the whole thing of, like, hiding away the humans. Like, they basically gone to the areas and how they kept safe. I understood that. I'm like, alright, I have to loosen up a bit. I can't think about this movie too much, because it's not, don't say it, it's not realistic. I know. But, oh yeah, the way they ended with the characters, I thought that was really good. I thought the way they ended the kids with the parents and them addressing, like mom and dad getting the divorce, kind of like that, is like, this kind of toss out the window. Is like, no, they're not. It's fine. I'm like, okay, all right. There's a sense that his brother did finally confront and be there for his younger brother, because he wasn't always there. He was always on his phone. Like, I thought the way it ended, though, the kids with the parents, I thought was really, really well done. It's kind of like, oh, what will happen after them? I'm just like, we don't need a resolution for them. Who really gives a second thought for the parents? You barely see them. They barely leave an impression on you. They're behind the characters. So that's kind of understood. And the way they end with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, I really liked it. I thought, like, I would say this, it's very much like in the first movie with, oh god damn it, Sam Neill and Laura Dern, where it's like they were pretty much lovers, but it's like, will they be together? It's like will they ever like completely be there for each other? In this movie, it's kind of like, will they or won't they? Played all the way through, even though it's like through the kids' perception, they're like, oh my god, you two are boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're like, we don't know for sure, really. But I really thought that was fun. I loved how they kind of kept that intimacy. Like, they did have like a great sense of romance with each other. I really enjoyed that for its own sake. Understanding why I cannot change this film, and I'm just kind of accepting for what it is, accepting this film for what it is instead of what I want it to be. Okay, because I know this could have been a lot worse. Okay, this could have been a lot worse. But then again, people say this could have been better. So yeah, I understand that. And the way it ended on the note with seeing the T-Rex on a helicopter platform and this letting out a roar, that's like gives the T-Rex roar that, and there's like faded black. I'm just like, like, if this is the last Jurassic Park movie, then I will say that's a damn good ending. And the way they ended it on was great. And unlike Fast and Furious, if it's like, you know, if we make another movie, which they probably are, then it gives less meaning for the ending of it. It's like, oh, really, they did that? Even though they lead on for more. But whatever. I hate comparisons. It's truly unjustful, in my opinion. But the way it did end for me was just, I really loved it. And if this is the last one, then I will say a wonderful way for ending the franchise. But if there is more, I will be like, I still really loved it the way it ended for its own sake. And in the end, that's basically Jurassic World, in my opinion, after spoilers, in my view. And in the end, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's definitely one of my few favorites of this year so far. I will say that. And in the end, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, everyone. And as always, till then, everyone, thank you for watching. And I will see you in the future for more videos, as always. Till then, I'm out.